All right. Let's go over and let's start with we got through that topic. Now we've got Dogpack404. So this dude made some really dumb comments about anime. Now, this guy was covering Mr. Beast, and he's kind of the Mr. Beast anti. Now, he got a lot right. He did get some details wrong about Mr. Beast, right? And I said about Dogpack, I said that guy needs to be careful because he's edging on defamation or other crimes, etc., right? And he is really, really pushing it, right? In terms of some of the stuff he said. And lately, he's been making pretty big blunders in the anime world, which got him a lot of flack because he made a misstatement about an anime, right? Higehiro, which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the problem with Toyoko Kids and all that. That's kind of wrapped up with that. But he also made a problem with Ivanka Trump. So let me show you this. Here's Dogpack. Here's this guy right here. And here's the statement he made. So this was actually Keem. Now, I will say Keemstar, he actually made a video attacking this guy because Keemstar put out all of these tweets just kind of adopting what this guy said without even doing his own research. And of course, that's his normal thing. He thinks he's covered by saying allegedly. And I'm going to be very clear. Yes. Does allegedly make it better? Sure. Does it make you bulletproof? No. Just because you put Mr. Beach allegedly doesn't mean that you're 100% covered from potential defamation lawsuits, etc. Right? It's better. Certainly it is better, right? It's better than just saying Mr. Beast sent blah, blah, blah. So the caption is Mr. Beast allegedly sent Chris Tyson an anime about Miner's relationship with a 26-year-old, betting he'd love it in leaked DMs. Rosanna alleges. So let's watch this and then we'll talk about it real quick because this is pretty big ignorance here.
June of 2021, he sends a message of an anime called Higehiro. Says, I bet Chris would love this show.
Yeah.
What's this show about?
Well, it's interesting that you ask because this show is about a romantic relationship between a 26-year-old salaryman and a 17-year-old high school runaway. It's well known online to be a controversial anime. And this anime is based on even more explicit novels that go into the details of this romantic relationship between an adult and an underage girl.
So Jimmy in the chats is saying, I bet Chris would love this show because it's right up our alley.
Why do you think Chris would love that show, Jimmy?
Why specifically this anime out of all animes out there? I've heard there's a lot of different animes out there.
There is, and Ava is well-versed in all of them. Here's some chat messages talking about Digimon, how the first episode of season 5 is a beach episode, so much boobies. And if you don't follow the plot, Food Wars is just food and porn. Oops, she clarifies, underage porn.
Oh.
They're like, hey, we're all second-year high schoolers, and now we are having orgasms. This steak is so bomb.
So once again, referencing underage sexual situations.
Which is going to be a common theme through these messages.
Which is apparently very important for a work chat.
Again, sexually explicit meme about Violet from The Incredible.
So, once again, not defending Ava Tyson here, but they've got some information that's pretty fucking inaccurate here. And actually, I believe that Dogpack actually walked this back in the end. But they've got some information that's pretty inaccurate here. So first of all, the one thing I want to point out is not every country has the same age of consent. I know this is crazy, but the legal age is different in different countries. Now, Japan has a national age of consent and it has a local age of consent. So certain places it's higher. So for example, in Tokyo, it's 18, but in other prefectures, it's lower. And a lot of people think that Japan still has a super low age of consent. Actually, it does not. They, at a national level, raise the age of consent from 13 to 16, right? In 2023, they officially did that. Now, it was already higher, right? It was already higher, but they did it there. It was higher on a prefectural level. So each prefecture had already raised it above 13. They've already raised it to 16 or higher, right? but they just did that on a national level to make it harmonious, right? So 17 in certain prefectures would not be illegal, right? And in many places, 16 is legal in many different countries in the world. So this is a very American perspective, right? And once again, that's a subjective thing. You have to look at the country and whether that is or isn't, right? So saying underage is not necessarily accurate, whether something is illegal or not, right? Now, beyond that, they're also misrepresenting the anime as a whole. They're kind of implying that Higehiro is an anime that involves like degenerate a sexual relationship, which it's actually not. It's relatively wholesome. Now, it's kind of funny because when they brought this up, it actually got people to watch this. I saw Cloudy Monkey TWT, who posted this. I was reminded of the existence of this anime because of recent controversy, so I think I'll give it a shot. And people who watched this actually ended up liking it, and it's a good anime. Higehiro, after being rejected, I shaved and took in a high school runaway, right? Now, if you guys don't know, there's a very real problem in Japan with the Toyoko Kids, right? So I want to do a little educational segment on Toyoko Kids. You guys may not know about them. Now, there are problems, and it is kind of a dark side of Japan, but it's a very real problem in Japan with these runaway kids. And there is exploitation and sexual stuff that goes on with them. But the anime doesn't explicitly go into that, right? There is a dark side to this problem, right? For real. And it is a problem. And I'm going to show you guys a video by a Japanese comedian that talks about this. But it's a 7-minute video, so not too long about it. But it is a serious problem. But is this anime degenerate and horrible? No, it's actually a pretty decent anime. And it reminds me of the Dan controversy, you know. And oftentimes, for example, there are animes that on their face, they look degenerate, but they're actually not, right? They're actually not that degenerate. So what are the Toyoko Kids? Let's actually listen to this little description of the Toyoko Kids. This is from a Japanese comedian, and he's just giving the story of the Toyoko Kids.
Plaza. Amidst all the garbage, young people
Let me
high
rewind
on
this.
drugs in Toyoko Plaza. Amidst all the garbage.
This is in Kabukicho. So for those that don't know, Toyoko Plaza is in Kabukicho, which is well known to be a Yakuza area, which has a lot of sex stuff. Yeah, Mashida, yeah. It's got a lot of sex stuff. It's got a lot of gangster stuff. It is safe. I know people say it's like, he's going to call it like the Philadelphia of Tokyo, but it's safe. I've been in Kabukicho many, many times. I've never had any problems, right? The only thing you have to worry about is the Nigerian touts that like try to recruit you to do stuff, but they're not going to do anything. They're not going to touch you. They're just going to try to convince you and never listen to them. Never follow the Nigerian tout that's trying to get you to come into a bar. Don't do that. Don't do that. But they're not going to actually attack you or anything. All right, let's continue.
Young people high on drugs are shouting strange noises and lying on the side of the road. In the near future, Toyoko Plaza will be called the Philadelphia of Japan, but instead of hard drugs, we overdose on sleeping medicine.
Yoshida jokes about Japan.
Let's let me fast forward. He's good content.
Junior and senior high school
So
students
Toyoko Kids are all junior, usually teenage, junior, and senior high school students who gather in Kabukicho. They're usually runaways, but some of them live at home and they just come there to participate in the culture, the Toyoko Kid culture.
who gather at the Toyoko Plaza in Kabukicho. Nowadays, Toyoko Kids are getting a lot of media attention. This is because the number of Toyoko Kids involved in crimes is increasing. You could say many of the kids are disappointed in adults, just like the adults.
Okay, this is a little educational.
Hey guys, it's Meshida. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm a comedian and I introduce funny Japanese culture. If you are interested
I'll let him promote his channel since I'm using his video in its entirety.
in that, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and please check out my Patreon.
It's a
page
good video.
too. And now I'm organizing my solo stand-up comedy show in Tokyo. If you are interested in that, please check out the link below. So see you in Tokyo. Toyoko Kids are so called because they are teenagers who gather in a plaza called Toyoko Plaza next to the Toho building, which is famous for Godzilla in Kabukicho.
Yeah, so you'll see the Godzilla when you're walking into Shinjuku or whatever, like Kabukicho area. You'll see the Godzilla like pretty far away, actually.
First, Toyoko Plaza became a popular place for young people to take selfies and meet through selfies. The plaza became popular. The kids began to call themselves the selfie community. The good-looking young people whose selfies were getting up bars or who worked at bars in Kabukicho, which opened at midnight. The not very good-looking young people began to gather at Toyoko Plaza as a place to kill time until the bars opened in order to go meet them. For the old men who usually frequent Kabukicho, it must be like when Disneyland is overrun with children. Gradually, as the
That's a good reference.
age of the youth became younger and younger, it became a place where middle and high school students who had no place to stay could gather. In the same way, the middle-aged men who have no place at home gather at izakaya after work.
This is so fucking true, by the way. This is so fucking true. And there's when I'm in Bangkok, there's izakayas as well there because there's a lot of Japanese workers in Bangkok. They're full after work.
Teenagers who have no place to stay at home gather in Kabukicho.
飯だ
Toyoko kids are children who have problems in their home environment or who have stopped going to school because they have no place at school. It is said that there are many of them, they prefer to wear dark-colored clothes, which are said to be Jirai-kei fashion, basically landmine fashion, implying the wearer.
They're menhera as fuck. So in other words, they're menhera as fuck. So it's like the goth or the almost like goth lolly, but like it's like definitely goth look, like for sure goth look, but it's definitely looks menhera for sure. And most of them have a ton of piercings and usually a lot of tattoos. Someone's like the self-made tattoos, for sure.
Is clingy and has bad mental health. Dating someone Jirai-kei has a tendency to blow up. It looks very cute though. It is also known as Pien-kei fashion. Pien is a pictogram that expresses a sad face with teary eyes.
Whenever anybody gives this emoji is suspect as fuck. So whenever I see this emoji, I'm like, press X to doubt.
Eyes and represents a woman who is so-called menhera, mentally unstable, dependent on the opposite.
So phase connect. This is phase connect. So essentially, when you think Toyoko Kids, think phase connect, right? Pippa, Tenma, they're all like one step away from just being in Toyoko Plaza. And they're pretty much almost there, right?
Sex and addicted to host clubs. For those teenagers, Toyoko.
By the way, if they weren't addicted to their chat's abuse, they would be addicted to host clubs, right? If they weren't addicted to their chat's abuse, the menhera girls would be in host clubs 100%. They'd be that famous girl who went in and spent all of her money and then stabbed the host for talking to other girls, right? Even though that's his job.
Has become like a second home. Now, adults in the Japanese media are interviewing the Toyoko Kids,
Get out,
asking
Itsuma.
why they gather there, and they are interviewing the Toyoko Kids sympathetically. However, adults who are too busy working to have time for a second home may not understand why young people are gathering in Toyoko.
飯だ
Some of the Toyoko kids come for a place of their own, and after enjoying time with their peers, some kids go back to their homes where their families are. However,
So I would say that's actually, so from talking to Japanese people, particularly like younger Japanese people that know that or have like friends or have family members that have done this, actually nowadays in both Osaka and Tokyo, I would almost say the majority of them aren't actually homeless. They actually live at home. They just come there to hang out and spend their time. So they just go there to they go there during the day and they just go home to sleep, right? So they don't actually sleep on the street. So I would say that's probably the majority of them. They're probably not true homeless. All right, let's continue.
it is said that many of the Toyoko kids have problems in their home environment, have run away from home and living in Kabukicho. Young people are getting high by overdosing on over-the-counter cold and sleeping pills. Some of these children have overdosed and died. You could say that those young Japanese people are westernized. In Toyoko Plaza, amidst all the garbage, young people high on drugs are shouting strange noises and lying on the side of the road. In the near future, Toyoko Plaza will be called the Philadelphia of Japan, but instead of hard drugs, we overdose on sleeping medicine. More recently, there has been a problem with adults in the underworld who are getting young girls addicted to illegal drugs and sexually exploiting them. Incidentally, there are some young and middle-aged men in Toyoko who are known as the kings, who organize the Toyoko Kids. Many of them have been arrested for child molestation. They are the kings of perversity.
So that's a legitimate problem. Okay, so this isn't to underplay. This is a legitimate problem. Like, this is an actual problem for the percentage of ones that are exploited, for sure. That's definitely a problem, for sure. Like, it's a legitimate problem. And it's not a made-up problem. So when the anime uses a motif of a runaway, it's not necessarily inaccurate, and it doesn't necessarily make this up just because it's perverted. It talks about an actual societal problem, especially with bad home environments, right? That's a serious problem in Japan, like an actual real problem.
Toyoko Plaza is basically one like a church.
弟子だ。
Kabukicho was originally
That the church joke hits different after you saw the Luce meme.
known as a place with many bad adults because there are many Yakuza offices. Toyoko kids
Sure.
are more likely to get into trouble because they have more opportunities to come into contact with bad adults and adults who target girls for sexual acts gather at Toyoko Plaza. Nowadays, there are many girls who engage in what is known as papakatsu or sugar daddy activities. The girls are trying to earn a living and
But the thing is, that is definitely not exclusive to Japan or anywhere. Sugar daddy stuff is all around the world. It's in the US, like really rampant in the US, actually, in a lot of countries, right? There's nothing new or unique about Japan in that instance. It's kind of a global thing, right? But yeah, obviously it's a thing there too.
if they stop, they will not be able to make a living. Taking advantage of this, immoral adults make it impossible for the girls to get out of the papakatsu scene. There is also a growing number of black market traders who supply the girls with fake driver's licenses. The purpose is to enable them to work in adult entertainment. Teenage girls use fake IDs to work in the adult industry, and middle-aged male customers use fake names in the adult industry and make fake love. Our adult industry is filled with fakes, but some middle-aged men believe it's real love.
So, mind you, I've said this once before again. Obviously, there's the JAV industry, which is the adult video, which is sort of like, like the porn industry of Japan, right? There's that. And also the fact is, while prostitution is illegal in Japan, that's defined as sex for the purpose of reproduction. So any non-reproductive sexual activity would be completely legal under Japanese law, right? Even if it's compensated. So there's a lot of other adult services that are available, right, in Japan. That's a legal quirk of Japan. So that's what he says. It works in the adult industry. There's a wide market there in Japan.
To sum up, in Japan, neither youth nor adults can find their own place.
弟子だ。
Thank you very much for
Okay. That's the end of the video. He just goes to comments. But yeah, that's a really good video. It's a good explanation. It's a serious social problem. It's not it's not a made up problem. It's a real social problem. I've seen it multiple times, both in Toyoko Plaza and in Osaka under the bridge, the Abisu Bridge, near in Dontonbori in Osaka. If you go there, you can see under the bridge, walk under the bridge. You're going to see the kids there. And now the police will go by. So someone said here, is there a way to the kids to be safe and quash this problem? See, here's the problem. You can send the police to scare them, but they'll just go somewhere else, right? The thing is, like the police, like removing them from the place doesn't ever help. Like the police in Osaka clear them out, and then they just come back later. Oh, let's see, I hit my coat hanger over here. But you can clear them out, and they'll just come back, right? You can say you can limit gatherings, but they'll break it up and they'll disperse into smaller units. The bigger issue is families and family pressure. It's a social problem, right? It's a social problem. They don't want to be at home. And also remember, homes are very small, so you can't get away from your parents, right? So if your parents are dicks, they're like on top of you pretty much, because even people that live in quote unquote big houses are actually, it's still small, right? So like if you call somebody and the walls are thin, stuff like that, their parents are probably listening to the whole problem, right? That's why love motels are a thing, because you really can't do that at home or anywhere else, because your parents will see, they'll know.